Hello and welcome to this three-part Finextra at Sibos series. I'm Hannah Wallace, and in this episode we'll be speaking to a range of people over the course of the event, from the banks, fintechs and the academics, about how banks are looking to develop a more formal strategy to better manage their data. We'll be gaining insight into some of the problems leveraging data is helping overcome, and what new and improved services this is going to lead to. Let's go see what they have to say.
For centuries, banks have been the custodian and the trusted safekeeper of data. What has changed over time is banks have realized the power of it, and that power becomes into three main areas: the portability of data, transformation, and the speed of that transferability.
All banks have a core data strategy now. I think early days were largely around how do we get data into central repositories, how do we manage it, how do we govern it better. I think where banks are now, and particularly where we are on our journey, is how do you derive some of the insights and core analytics capability around these.
Banks have woken up to the concept of building propositions around their customer needs, and as part of that customer need, data is becoming very important.
It's a godsend to help create differentiation in an industry where we are being accused of getting very commoditized, and every bank is offering the same service or product. Data can help us deliver a differentiated experience.
It's quite difficult to differentiate just with product, and to be seen as a very key partner for our clients, we need to be able to provide high-value, tailor-made services to their needs at the right moment. So that's exactly what data will enable us to do.
So in order to really capitalize on the data and really harness the power of data and derive meaningful insights, we need to really have a data strategy in place and help deliver to our customers in a more safe, secure, and a legally compliant fashion.
There's been a huge move to extend what already exists, a governance policy around data, knowing where it is, what it's being used for, who's using it, because it's going to protect the institution, protect the customer's information, and give us better security.
But what I do think is new within data is that advanced computing, advanced analytics and machine learning are having a big impact on the power of how we can use data.
Could you highlight for us some of the problems you're seeing leveraging data overcome?
In terms of the problems managing data, I think one of the biggest problems that most institutions have is just the sheer volume of data. Thinking about a data strategy in terms of how you use that data, what data you need, how you interact and interoperate with other data is probably the biggest challenge facing most banks today.
It's now predicted that by 2025 there will be over 460 exabytes of data created every single day.
Banks are clearly trying to deal with three types of challenges. First is the scalability of data. Second is the privacy relating to data and consent management. Lastly, it's about vulnerability of the data.
By using different kinds of analytics techniques, we can really sort of speed up the process of data management and governance, because it points to the data points that are the most core for the bank, and instead of focusing on everything at the same time, that helps us to create a roadmap to really enable speed.
I think you get clarity in what to do and how to do it, which obviously increases the efficiency in what you're doing. You don't need to bet on multiple horses, but you have a more structured approach to what you would invest in based on real data.
And at the back end, if you think about things like fraud prevention or even cyber protection, these are all fundamentally data issues. And so from our point of view, we can protect our clients and provide them services in a much faster, better, and less expensive way.
The biggest place and the solution is risk management, but in the very wide perspective. So it's operational risk, fraud, anti-money laundering, but also enhancing the risk models which we have by gathering data. I think this is where the biggest impact can be made.
The industry is overcoming several big problems by leveraging data. First of all, the ability for them to be able to get insights out of this information that already exists, that then allows the customer to be able to have a better customer experience. The way that Barclays is doing it is really creating this level of stickiness with our customers by being able to provide them with more insights about what they're doing on a daily basis, and then also being able to use this to solve some of the challenges we have around security and being able to predict some of these threats.
What new and improved services are we seeing as a result?
So we are able to use data to provide financing instantaneously to small players. Similarly, we use it also for doing analytics-based lending, wherein we can actually predict what is the outcome when a particular hauler gets a work order. So things like this can be done using data.
Better lending products, better, I guess, risk models around lending products. And that's a big challenge in Africa. You've got supply chains that actually move into quite informal segments, and actually using data to improve how we lend into those markets is a big growth element for the continent.
As a result of leveraging data is the client insights, which we provide to our clients, and that is we give them, for example, insight in the operational performance of some of their units. We capture data from a B2B2C company, so the company not only see their sales but the actual consumption of the product, which helps them to do a much more accurate sales and production planning, react on the markets in terms of incentives.
Challenger banks have started utilizing data, so let's say location data of where you buy items. And that's really a good example where all of a sudden you can overlay that onto Google Maps, for instance, to show how people are spending their money, where they're spending it, and with whom they're spending it.
Things like satellite technology, where you can actually monitor as your collateral moves around down there on the field in the form of the tractor, is one idea. But also the idea of mobile technology, which will allow people to be included in the financial system. 1.7 billion people today don't have access. By lowering the cost of access to these people, we will give them very basic banking services, just as a bank account, maybe a loan or payment services. This is going to be truly revolutionary.
We've got another pilot live at the moment with another fintech, where what we're doing is we're using real-time data analytics to have a look into their finance data to spot errors and omissions in real time. And what that ends up meaning is that we're saving a huge amount for those clients when it comes to reconciliation.
Using analytics, you can start to predict and you can start to cluster and segment things in completely new ways. And I think by collaborating with our clients, that's where we can really find the core things like 5G and Internet of Things. That's super exciting.
The real value of leveraging data at FSISAC is around focusing intelligence at our particular members for their particular needs. Instead of one size fits all, we can personalize it, we can adjudicate it, we can prioritize it so it becomes more actionable and more supportable in the community. The real value of leveraging data to me is making financial products as applicable to the modern world as all of the modern technology products that are already out there. Customers expect a certain level of insight and a certain level of engagement, and what the banks are doing and what the industry is doing is allowing that and giving the customers the right level of customer service.
Speaking with the banks, we've gained a better grasp of some of the strategies being formed around data, some of the problems this overcomes, and some of the new services we're seeing emerge as a result. And already we're looking forward to seeing what they have to say next year. So we'll see you then.